Excellent.
And hello, welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noel Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro's Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is a show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello everybody hanging out in the Discord chat room. If you'd like to join us during the show, you can drop in a comment, question, a GIF, a meme on the Discord.
That is on at discord.gg/Adafruit.
We'll take a moment to welcome everybody to the show, give some shout outs.
Shout out to everybody hanging out in all of the chats. We got Paul Cutler,
Hello.
Andy Calloway,
Howdy.
2231 Puppy,
Hello.
Yanni,
Hola.
Duester,
Hello.
Hesitant Road, Liz,
Hey.
Yanni, Rosin. Good morning. We're also hanging out in the YouTube chat on Facebook and LinkedIn and Periscope.
I think our mic
Oh yeah, Twitch.
working again.
Is it? Hello? Hello?
Should be fine. We're trying. I have a
We're
backup
there.
mic
We're
ready
good.
too.
We're good.
All right. I'll just speak louder. You're closer to the mic than I am. See if I can the bell.
Gotta
Audio
project
is
this
the
way.
biggest problem. Yeah. Project this way. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get through the morning housekeeping. Head on over to adafruit.com. You can find out all the deals that are going on right now. I'll kind of skip through them, but you get different tiers. Go to adafruit.com/free for those details. Also, the holidays are upon us. If you go to the Adafruit blog, you'll see here we have a featured blog post about shipping deadlines for the end of the year here. So if you want to take a look here, you can see
The last day would be the 12th?
16th if you're doing 3-day.
16th.
The 19th if you're doing 2-day delivery, and next day delivery. This is the 20th is the last day. So check those out if you want to get some stuff in before the holidays.
Ooh, that's cutting it close.
Very
Order
close.
now.
You're going to have to order now. Wait for tonight, though. We get a 10% off coupon code. All right, shifting gears over to Help Wanted. You go to jobs@adafruit.com to find out all the latest job postings if you are in the market for a job. Check out all the latest listings here. We got one in November, a couple in October. Check this out if you're interested. It's probably going to be a little slow since it's the end of the year, but there you go. And that's the jobs board. Giving a shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the Python and Microcontrollers newsletter. You can subscribe to that by going to adafruitdaily.com. And subscribe to any of the other cool category-specific I was going to say blog posts, but newsletters. Once a week, we have a newsletter that's focused on products. Go to adafruit.com/newsletter for that. I want to give some shout-outs to Paul Cutler for hosting the Circuit Python Show podcast. You can subscribe using your favorite podcasting service or YouTube. All right, and get back over to Discord. That was a pretty quick morning run, but yeah, we'll see if we can get through everything. Got a lot of community makes and fun projects you want to jump into this week's project? Or?
Let's go ahead and jump right in. This week's cool project is...
Right. This week we got a snowflake, a glowing LED snowflake. So we used LED noodles for this project. And I thought it'd be fun to make an ornament that can go on a tree or something else. And these are 4 different LED noodles that are wired in parallel. And then what I like about it is that the snowflake design kind of allows for the battery to kind of be mounted in the background. So that's kind of a neat, all fully contained. The last noodle sign we did was kind of like bring your own battery, but I really like that this is a fully contained kind of design here where you got the battery in the back. It has a built-in on-off slide switch, so it's super easy to turn on and off. And then with the JST cable right here, you can always swap out the battery for something else. Maybe you want to hang this up on a window and then plug it via USB so that you can just have it running off a wall power or power supply. But yeah, these are the yellow and the warm white LED noodles. They come in different colors, but I'm using the yellow and the warm white here. The design is pretty simple. I really like that because of the snowflake element, you got this hexagon in the center there, and that's actually where all the wiring is hidden. I could take it apart, we could just look at the learn guide, but it's really nice to kind of have your design integrated with spots for the wiring. So that's what's hidden behind this little cover here. They all just kind of press fit, and then you have these 2 screws and hex nuts that secure the battery holder to the back cover that's 3D printed. So it's a really nice kind of, like I said, compact design that's just ready to go. So that's kind of my latest noodling. So pretty fun. No programming or anything. It's just your LEDs and your coin cells. So there's no programming. It just turns on, which is fine for an ornament, right? So I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to take this idea and make it into some sort of wearable, maybe some antlers for your head, or like a pair of kind of fashionable glasses or something would be kind of neat. But yeah, it's got this really nice effect. And when you print it, the diffuser and translucent PLA, you can have it can pretty shine through the back too, so it's kind of like double-sided in a way. So if you had a different design, you could make it so that you can see it in all angles if you use this filament, the translucent filament, and it spins. Woo! Let's see if I can switch the camera angle just to get a better look at it. There you go. Yeah, there you can kind of see how the LEDs are in there, which kind of adds to the fact there are these little dotted dots here. The batteries are already kind of low, so they can get really, really bright if you use it. If you're if you have bigger batteries. So that's what looks like turned off. That's what's turned on. Yeah, so looks great at night though. Very, very bright. You can get even brighter though if you swap out one of the Adafruit batteries.
As we saw last week, these are eye blinding. The size is also good enough to use as a topper on your tree.
Yeah, we could probably do that. I have a little hook here just in case people want to hook it to the tree or on top of the tree or whatever.
Or like you were saying before, with a suction cup, you can have those little hooks that connect to your window.
Yeah. I stuck with this design that only has 4 because I didn't want to have more LED noodles because I don't know, it just felt like wiring 6 of them would have been difficult and power consuming. So one of those design constraints. So I stuck with 4, and then I tried doing originally. I tried just using 1 single noodle to make the snowflake, but I didn't have enough length, and I couldn't come up with a good shape, so that's why I went with 4. But yeah, that's the end result. Let's go ahead and jump into the learn guide, and we'll kind of quickly walk through it. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Head on over to the Adafruit Learn site. You can check out the learn guide. Let's see if I can navigate. There we go. So I think we got all the stuff in stock, which is really good. So those 2 noodles are in stock. The CR2032 coin cell battery holder, it has 2 of those. Those are in stock. You got the JST cable. Everything's in stock. Yay!
Amazing.
So check that out. The overview guide has some links to if folks are just getting started with like wiring LEDs. We have a guide.
Project.
We have a guide on Adafruit Learn site. That talks all about LEDs, polarity, resistors, the like. the LED Noodles Uber guide. It's just going to walk you through some of the characteristics of the Noodle, some demo code as well, so check that out if you want to use some PWM to control them. But other than the parts, they're all here. Got a couple wires and things as well. What do we got? Is it just dead or?
No. It's just is it pointing, like, is the receiver like over on this side?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it was on condenser mode. Yeah, it was on voiceover mode, so now it's on unidirection, omnidirection, unidirection.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it should be good. Thanks for that. Now it should be good. Yeah, it was literally just this side. That's why we got that comment in Discord that was like, only one mic is working. Yeah, it was that.
Good.
Yep, you're right. Thanks, puppy. That is right. We have fixed it though. All right. We're just getting into the guide, so that's good. Let me refresh. Circuit diagram. It showcases how you need to orient the pins from the LED Noodles so that you can be shared. We're going to wire them all in parallel, and then we're going to use these two wires that kind of they diagonally connect the voltages together and the grounds together. It can be a little bit tricky, but what I like about the project is the 3D printed holder and the length of the noodles are just about the right length where they're touching already. So like soldering is like they're already set in place. The little holes inside the 3D printed thing kind of act as a jig to keep the noodle pins in place while you're soldering, so it's kind of nice. Perfect. You got to be careful though, because you can burn the plastic that's underneath, because you have to kind of have the cover in place while you're soldering. So just that little note there. But the circuit diagram just shows you, how I wired it together. It's kind of this clever way of, sharing voltage and ground, so it's wired in parallel. So, yeah. CAD files are up there. You have STLs, you have a step file. Bless you. It was done in Fusion 360, and a couple weeks ago I did a LED noodle shape tutorial on how I go about designing shapes using Fusion 360. So that's a good little tutorial if you want to learn how to make a custom 3D printed sign or holder or some sort of thing with a noodle. On to the assembly. This just kind of walks you through the right order of operations. You're going to want to install that cover before installing the noodles. I recommend using flat nose pliers to help pull the pins of the LED noodles through those holes. Those holes are there to keep it nice and taut and to keep those pins in place. So as you are building it, you're going to want to keep reference of the pins, the voltage and the ground pins. You're going to have to make sure that they're in the right spots. So that's why I kind of break it down branch per branch. Like you want to just kind of focus on one branch at a time, and then as you're installing, you want to keep flipping the sign so that you know that you have enough length, it's the right length, and that the pin is in the right orientation. So by the fourth noodle is installed, you have a good idea of what the layout is going to look like, and from there you can start installing the back cover with these screws. I'm using M2 screws because those are the right mounting holes for the battery holder. The battery holder has mounting holes, but they don't kind of poke through all the way through the top cover. So what I ended up doing is I used a M2.5 screw tap to kind of poke the holes because they're not present. So that's why that's how I was able to do that. So I just the holes are already, injection molded in the back of the case. You just want to use that screw tap to kind of poke through the top cover. That way you can secure the whole thing to the back cover. So that's what I ended up doing. When it comes to the cables, you got two short wires, and you want to cut the size of the JST 2-pin cable so that you don't have too much slack. Wire slack is going to be kind of want to have it short. So I have it about 3 inches in length for the JST cable. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I recommend using tweezers to help solder 3 things together. So you have 2 of the pins from the LED noodle plus your bridging wire and your JST cable. So that's actually 4, isn't it? whatever. There's a lot. It can be a little tricky, so yeah, use tweezers. It's hard to get your hands in there, and again, you have the you're gonna need your dexterity and finesse to not because as soon as you solder one thing, the wire might fly off or the pin might. So you're just gonna be real careful with that. But you can do it. I believe in you. And maybe use some Kapton tape or something. I'm sure folks have their own tips and tricks on how to do it. But yeah, I was able to do it, and when I got it done, I was like, all right, this is good. Once all of the cabling is all wired up, you can plug in the JST cable into the battery and power it up. And then to install the back cover, there's a built-in slit for the wire to pass through. So that's nice. So you just slit that in, and then you plop the coin cell onto those screws. And then you secure them with the hex nuts. And that's really it. So that's kind of the full assembly in a nutshell. It's all ordered in the correct way as you're building it. So yeah, that's kind of it though. Very nice and compact.
Very awesome. I really love how skinny and small those are. We had a question from Koshi on the Discord. Visually, how do they compare to the flexibility of the neon strips? We've got a little strip of that right here. Mm-hmm. These can look the same if you have another battery to plug this in where you can't see any of these. That's basically what this will look like. But the main difference is how big these are. Right. You can see how huge, both depth-wise and lengthwise it is. So yeah, it's like two of these combined. So it's definitely one thing to take note. And these are addressable, so these are NeoPixels, so that's another difference in them there.
Yeah, these can be tricky wiring though, because the way
you would not be able to bend these.
The way you cut them, you have to look for the thing here, the pad. It can only be split every 3 pixels or so. There's limitations on the bend radius. Look at that. You really can't do a 90-degree bend.
As much as you can bend.
You don't want to bend it and break it, which I have done. So you're really limited on your bend radius.
But the main question is on visibility, visually.
Yeah, they can be pretty bright. Let me show you folks. Let me turn this off. All right, and then this is just the 3.7 volt, 2200 milliamp LiPo battery. At this point, if you're going to use one of these batteries, I recommend using a resistor to limit the current because this gets really, really bright.
I know this is coming.
It's more of a light at this point. You can see in the overhead my face is lit up. So it can get very, very bright without a resistor. And these are 4 of them. So that looks really cool though. But yeah, you can just barely make out. In human life, if you're looking at it, you really can't see these dots here.
Maybe if you try to, you're going to get blinded.
Yeah. But that's a good look at them at full brightness here. It becomes a light element at that point, like an actual flashlight. Let's go back to the
color temperature of the warm white.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You can check if there is a data sheet. I don't think there is.
I want to say 30K, but
yeah,
the way manufacturers...
So this is yellow and this is warm white. So you can really see the yellow here in the phosphor or whatever they're using.
Depending on...
It's kind of hard to see too when you're turning them off. They look the exact same. So I even struggled a bit to know, is this the right? Because I really wanted yellow, and then warm white.
Warm white.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the way that manufacturers post color temperatures like 300K or 30,000K, 50,000K. It's always flip-flopped, depending on what you're talking about. So, for light bulbs, I think for the kitchen, I think the 30K ones are the ones that are more yellow.
Really?
So it's always confusing mess.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a good look at that and comparing them to the neon. You just get such smaller bend radiuses. You can get tighter designs. You couldn't do this size with these. It just wouldn't work,
These are the minis, right?
Yeah, these are mini, skinny, neon NeoPixel strips.
I had to look at the...
They're very...
The label
look at this,
make
it's
sure.
A monster. They're about 12 millimeters.
So these get even bigger?
I think they're 12 millimeters width, and then this is 2 millimeters in width. So it depends on what you want to do. You want to animate these all to make a big one. You know, I would have printed each branch separately if I were to do it with these neons, and then glue them or screw them together, the branches. It would have been a big sign though, like this big. But maybe that's what you want. You know, if you're doing something big that it needs to be seen from a distance, definitely go with these. This is definitely a good idea. If you're doing something small that maybe it's going to be on your person or like an ornament, I guess go with these. A Lego build, that's what we did. We did a sign for the Lego Noodle shop. This will work well for that. Yeah. They're only 300 millimeters in length, the Noodles. You can't cut them short because they're not designed to be cut. These definitely can be cut. Size them up, lengthwise, rearrange them. And you can make 90-degree looking bends. You just have to like be strategic about how you're wiring them up.
It would be like this.
Yeah, it would be like that. Picture's got it.
Just cut them, wire them up.
Yeah.
And you can do one of these.
Yeah, you can do one of those. Yep. Yeah, you get really clever with your shapes.
Yeah, Crummies is saying, it's not listed on the nudes page. Probably because...
Yeah, it's just too inconsistent. The tones are probably changed.
Yeah, for...
If I got a different batch.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. We get a supplier, because we changed suppliers after like the first batch of these, so that's why it might be a different color temperature.
Okay.
But yeah, the yellow is more yellow. The warm white is just a tad bit more white. A little bit more tint of a white. Or desaturated. And I think that is it.
Yeah, that's the project.
Any
It's
other questions?
Kind of a nice...
The CAD files for this is on the GitHub. Posted the link to that.
The CAD file for the Noodles? What do you mean?
Right, the noodles of the just like the shape of it. So you have like the bend radius on it.
No, I don't really have a part for the Noodles because they're freaking flexible. It'd be like having a string or like a bare LED. Like I don't add bare LED parts. You can grab those from the various sites like Tinkercad, GrabCAD. But like I got that layer by layer on how to design the shape for the noodle, so you can use that. It's listed in the learn guide.
Linked. That is linked in there. Of course, you can grab the Fusion file.
Page. Yeah, the Fusion file. I saw a couple folks download the Fusion file off Thingiverse, so you can use that to kind of reference.
Yeah, get the sizing.
Some diameters. Yeah.
Cool. And that is this week's
project.
Glowflake project.
Glowflake.
Super cool.
It's not a snowflake. It's a glowflake.
Let's jump into what are we prototyping?
Noodles. All right, let's do that. Pedro's gonna grab his project.
All right.
This is a retrofitted blast from the past. One of my favorite laptops growing up. Let me switch the camera real quick.
So this is a pretty popular one on TikTok. I'm going around making the rounds.
Okay, ready? Here we
It's pretty cool. I should have gotten you the link to the person who's doing this. I think there's a couple people where they're gutting their old iBooks and making it into an iPad case. So of course my wife saw this. A lot of her friends were like, "Oh, your husband could do this." I'm like,
this looks
I don't know.
intimidating.
Yeah, because the way that they're doing is they're printing entire like body part pieces to it to fit like custom keyboards and stuff like that in it. Let me grab this one. That's something I totally did not want to do. So she ordered one. She's like, "Okay, here's the laptop." I'm like, "Okay, I'll get to it." And then before I know it, she's already disassembling it, gutting it, and I'm like, "Okay, crap. I guess I got to do this for work now because there's no way I can do this, on the side." Model all this stuff that takes like 6 hours to even print.
Yeah,
So,
it's a big part. So yeah, walk us through.
and then Phil and Lamar love retro projects. We have a whole how long did Jepler spend on coding CircuitPython to accept floppy disk drives? So
yeah, we love retro.
Clearly,
retro
there's
hardware.
Stuff there. This got so popular that this is like his full-time job now, like gutting these and turning these into like iPad cases. So I wanted to make one where it's not as complicated, where you're not printing an entire like case for your keyboard to fit. Obviously you want to make sure that all the things that we sell in the Adafruit store, it's something that you can buy, so it combines all that together. So what we got here is a 2 pieces that will hold the iPad in place and this sweet keyboard that fits perfectly to the size of this with the trackpad on there. They don't make a freaking keyboard that is like this precise size to fit in there. I tried. If somebody can find a link to it, look at what the dimensions for this Rye keyboard is. They do make an updated Bluetooth one, but it's just like it's like longer. It won't fit in there. What I see a lot of the people doing is like completely sawing like this whole thing off to fit like a longer, bigger keyboard. And again, it completely takes away from the aesthetics of having, you know, this cool translucent case that, you know, made the 90s, you know, so memorable with you know, translucent casing. So wanted to make sure that we kept as much as of the case in place.
Yeah, so very little destructive done needed. So you just take out the main components. This is all gutted out, and then you have this 3D printed tray that gets press fitted into this this cavity here,
and this goes on top,
and that snap fits in there.
Still getting all the there's still more parts printing out, so that'll snap in. This will scooch right inside.
This is connected.
And then this pops out. Yeah,
the hinge still works.
I think this is the main reason why they like it, because of the hinge on there. So of course that still works on there. Yeah. And if I pop this out, because I'm printing out the one that has the proper alignment, so you can actually pop this out. You can see how this is inserted in here.
Check this out, folks. This right here is
this is what's
really
making the keyboard. So we have this guy here, and using all the existing CAD files that I made for the flexible iPad case a couple years back. And this is the main thing that's making it work. Our magnetic USB little adapter here, which is perfect for this, because you have to have this to work with the keyboard. They don't make a Bluetooth one, so I have to have all these dongles and adapters connected on the side.
Gosh, yeah. Right angled for the win.
Right, so we have these little cutouts for that. If something happens, you know, the magnet will just come off, so you're not going to completely bust your port. And we do have these in stock. These are a high current too. I think it like does 120 watts, so you can charge fast charging with this. And then we have the little dongle on here. Again, could not find a keyboard that could perfectly fit within the dimensions of this older Rye keyboard, so this works perfect for this. And then this will be we have some like nice little access to the power, the volume, and then this little tab here to pop the whole iPad out if you so wish.
Yeah, you don't have to glue your iPad in place, folks.
So you can find the TikToks. He's like gluing all these magnets on. It's way too much. Like, yeah, I get it. Intense. You know, I get it, because he's adding like a charging, like a Qi charger for your watch, and like hooking up speakers and doing all this stuff. It's like Brandy doesn't want any of that. She just wants a case for her iPad.
Right. So that's gonna be a good one for people that can actually.
Yeah, they're like $100. You can find these on eBay, and you know, even less if you know they don't work, because you don't need them. All you need is the case.
Yeah. Quick story about where we got this one. Where we acquired it. We actually didn't own one of these.
We had the graphite one for like a week or two, and then I was like, "This, I need Firewire."
Yeah, I need PowerBook.
Yeah.
These were purchased from a school.
Oh, you can see the school district here, wherever this came from. So there are tons of these.
These are beat up. Oh, did it come broken?
The power adapter came all busted.
Okay.
It might have started up. I don't know. Brandy gutted this thing and said, "Here,
a lot of fun,
get to work."
Yeah, so very, very cool kind of retro piece of gear. When I showed Gavin, Paige's 9-year-old, he was just like astounded by the design. He's like, "What? This looks like it's from the future." I said, "Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?" It's like, didn't this look fun?
All comes back.
And then I showed him this laptop. I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Well, people got older and they stopped having fun." But I don't know. There's some, I don't know. It was kind of neat. So a lot of fun hacking to be done here.
Yeah. It's almost done. It's just the pieces.
3D printed insert. It's gonna be designed specifically for the iPad Pro.
This is the 11-inch Pro. I think they're still the same dimensions.
I don't know my iPad models, but there's so many.
I think this is 2 years old, maybe. Yeah, I am out of that.
Right,
like I have no idea
what every year. We're done.
Yeah,
we don't make apps for these guys anymore. Yeah. But I like this app. This is Nano Studio. I love the do some music production on something like this. It'd be fun.
Yeah, everything snaps in, so it's not permanent.
Yeah, I love it.
Super
You don't
cool.
even need to screw the things back in.
And yeah, it's a nice
Hinges
way.
are gnarly, man.
Yeah,
those
look
metal
how
hinges
crazy
are
this is.
quite beef.
So sad when you had to take it apart and you're like chopping off all the wires. It's
Yeah,
like,
there's
I mean, this
wire
thing
in
doesn't work anyway.
Right, the screen.
I remember trying to start up one of our old laptops,
This
and
is
it's
like
like,
OS
oh,
9.
our Wi-Fi isn't even compatible with
Yeah, no, they're not.
WEP.
No.
So it's like, it doesn't even connect anywhere. Like
This was the first I think laptop to have like wireless integrated.
Yeah,
It
there's
was
a whole
somewhere in
history
here.
on
Yeah, there's
all
a
the
lot of
firsts.
first times people were upset that it didn't come with a floppy drive or a PC card slot. Like, what the heck? No PC card slot? What's going on? People were upset that it had USB.
yeah,
Like,
Kushani
what?
saying that. Yeah, some people are upset because collectors want working units. There's so many of these. These aren't rare by
You're right.
any
There,
means.
schools were buying them by the
I did like
dozens.
again. I did feel sad like gutting it,
Yeah, but it's got a.
but I wasn't the one gutting it. It was Brandy, so
Oh.
I was able to, sort of be like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
it's your thing.
Yeah. So although it seemed intimidating at first, you slowly, thanks to Brandy too,
yeah,
but
because I
slowly
would not
got
have.
in there and was like, okay, I can do this.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
chip at it away. And
Mhm.
how long do you think you've been working on it now?
I think a week or two,
Oh,
long enough to be like, well, crap.
yeah.
Whatever project I was going to work on, I can't work on that now.
Yeah,
I have
let me
to.
doc this. Let
I
me
have to actually
document
do this
this.
into an actual for work
Write up
project.
Photos, do the whole thing.
Give the guts to a collector. They're gone.
Oh man,
They
the guts are gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I asked for it. I was
I
like, I wanted
can't-
to see the chip. I wanted to see the
Dude.
motherboard. It was the first laptop that had like a integrated, like fold.
I don't know if you could see
Circuit.
behind us. There's so
There's too
much.
much
We have way too much
Sorry.
stuff.
Too much stuff.
We have no room.
Yeah. Do we still have that G5 tower?
Yeah, that we
All
do
right,
have.
Good. There we go.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
wanna
any
gut that
room
one
for
day.
weird neck deep, and I have to go through and spring clean all of the old like feather boards and stuff. Where it's like, okay,
Yeah. Does anybody have an iBook? I'd like to know. Drop us a comment
Yeah.
in whatever video. I'd like to know about your history with an iBook.
you carefully remove and resell it. My
Yeah.
time is worth way
Um,
more than.
By the time I was like using laptops, we had gone to the iBook non-clamshell.
Yeah.
We were starting to go
No,
down the
there's-
route of
There's no
square
there's no
design.
time. Got two kids, they
bubbly.
get sick, and it's like, bro, you got no time for reselling stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a really cool project. Obviously, all of the parts and the 3D printed parts, and then the actual case, the keyboard, all that stuff. It's all in the shop. So yeah, we'll release this next week. The print's almost done. Getting all the proper tolerances in there, and yeah,
Cool.
this is a nice, cool little throwback. I think
It
so-
makes a good mirror.
Oh.
It's a mirror.
Hey, look, it's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And that is what we're prototyping.
Cool. Hey, there I am with Mickey Mouse. Jeez. Cool. All right. Next up,
Oh, I like that all the
Shop
function keys and everything works on that. Oh, and the trackpad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's very neat.
Yeah, this is a really cool keyboard.
Get your iBook before TikTok buys them all up.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple people that are doing these. I can see why. It's so cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into...
Yeah, just a reminder to check out the Adafruit CAD parts GitHub repo if you want to get some 3D models of Adafruit parts. Pretty much the same as last week, but there's always new ones, so check them out. If you want to see the latest stuff, we got NeoPixel Driver BFF and some other add-ons, so check those out. I think that's it for Shop Talk. I don't have anything else, so we're going to run right into
Community Makes.
Every week we 3D print something from the community, do a time-lapse video. This week it's a knitted stocking sock for the holidays. This one's designed by DaveMakesStuff.
Always making
Very
stuff.
intricate knitted design. This is rainbow PLA silk filament printed on the CR10S Pro V2. Looks really nice.
I don't know why this looks like a Grinch stocking to me.
Yeah.
Guess because of the green and stuff. But yeah, this is an excellent container for Christmas-related paraphernalia. Look at that.
You go on the wide.
Got an
Any
ample
details,
amount of
supports,
space.
No supports.
No supports. All regular settings. Nothing
Weighs
fancy.
like 2 pounds.
I think the only thing I did
Kinda
was I sunk it into the bed just a little bit because
Really?
the floor for this, it was too thick. I was like, this is so
really?
thick. Yeah, so I did do that. I think it's
For
like
weight.
negative 0.5.
It's for like a base.
Anytime
weight,
I
counter
check,
weight.
yeah, and that's a good thing to remind people. Always check your slice settings. I think you guys had some problems with
zero infill.
zero
What
infill, or
happened?
where you extrude from a taper or at a weird angle, and then your slicer, when you tell it to place flat, it doesn't place it flat.
Yeah.
So make sure you always check on
The
what
first
your
layer.
slicer is actually, the G code that it's making, the preview for that. And anytime I see that there's infill required for the bottom, it's like, okay, that's bigger than, a millimeter, 1.5 millimeters. So I sunk that in so it's not printing, a floor and then some infill, then a roof, and it's like, why? What for? It's just wasting time.
Any scaling? Did you scale it up?
No
or down?
scaling.
Okay.
Everything's pretty default on that. And like you said, yeah, it's a rainbow. I think it's metallic rainbow filament. No name brand
Looks
on
like there's
Amazon.
a lot of striations. Is it just from
It is because
arcing?
it's at 0.25 millimeters,
Oh.
just to speed it up. This one
Alright.
would it take like 26
Yeah,
hours
it
or
looks a little-
whatnot.
It's
Yeah.
Like it could be done better.
Yep, it's because it's a low resolution. It's 0.25 instead of 0.2 for the layer height.
Okay. But still very solid. I mean,
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing's like super.
It's so
strong.
heavy. You can
It's heavy. Yeah.
knock someone out with this thing.
Yeah. It don't.
It's so heavy and thick too. And
Cool.
The infill, even with the low infill. And yeah, nice stocking to be stuffed.
Yep. So by Dave Makes Stuff, it's on Thingiverse and Thangs. Dave has photos here of some wrapping paper or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like a little wrapping paper.
There's a video as well. What's with the video? Any fun stuff in the video?
And showing it off.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same
Just
thing I
a
did.
Incredible, like knitted design.
Yeah.
Does he say what he uses? I think in his Instagram he does. Warm your winter supplies with this cozy knitted stocking container. Yeah. A regular knit geometry. A rib knit geometry. Oh, look at that. And this is his knitting. Cool. Alright, so check that out. Shout out to Dave Makes Stuff. I think I broke the website. Something happened with the tab. I clicked somewhere.
And everybody's posting in the chat that they want a Raspberry Pi laptop.
Huh.
Yes, it is coming. I have a design.
You do?
I have ready to go, yeah, but
What
the
happened?
Pis aren't. I don't want to release something where it's like,
Oh,
good
okay.
luck getting it, and
Yeah.
I've already done a couple of those. And
Alright. Alright.
maybe next year. I'll release it next year when
We
the
have some-
Pis are plentiful.
We're let's go through the community makes and we'll end the
Yeah.
show and let everybody go eat lunch. All right. First up, we got a make from Regis. Posted a make of their heat set insert press. So Regis says, "Good idea. Thanks for your work and sharing." Of course. Looks like they're still putting it together, but looks like they got the core parts printed out. So if you're looking to make heat set inserts with threaded brass inserts. You can use this jig. You can build this jig rather to make really precise heat set inserts. I struggle with that, but there you go.
Did you miss the Midi fighter, or was that from last week?
I missed it. Oh no. No, the mini fighter is this week.
Oh, I just skipped it.
On
Or did
accident.
I miss it?
No, you're right. I did miss it. I don't have it up here. So let me bring it up. Next up, we have the Midi fighter. One of my favorite projects for realsies.
Yeah,
This is
because
a
use
collab
it in
project.
actual
Yeah,
music production.
I want to use it more. Yeah, it's a great MIDI device, modeled after the MIDI fighter from DJ Tech Tools. Code was by Liz Clark. She helped develop the design and the code. Very, very awesome. It's got an on-screen and a joystick. You can change the mapping of the buttons to different MIDI notes on the fly. Very, very cool. So here's a photo of it all put together. Here's another photo of it. It's always hard to photograph that OLED, but otherwise, there is their setup with the, I love this Akai LPK25. Really, really nice. Also a nice audio interface there. Let's read the comments real quick. This project was really fun, and I put it together. Here's what we did. We added they built it with their niece.
Oh, wow.
That's such a great way to build with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We did it a little bit different. Used the USB B instead of C. We installed it upside down. Whoops, the remix is on my page. Added rubber feet. This makes it move around less. The rubber feet make the stand and handle fall in use. I ran out of M2 standoffs. Ugly, I know, but that's okay. Ran into a problem with the code provided. It caused the controller not to work at all. I used Thani or the Moo editor. I don't remember which, but it was a while ago. I highlighted the code that needed attention. What I would do differently if I were to make another one, I would add banks. Basically like an MPC 2 to 4 buttons. I could change the notes and the grids all at once. That would be a great idea. There is, if they're watching, there is an upgrade to the code by another user. How would you find it? I guess search the Adafruit blog.
Should have that in the guide. Code
Well,
page
we don't
maybe?
want to support that because then we would
gotcha.
have to support it,
True.
and we don't really do that. But there is some folks that have made their own versions of the code that allows you to save different patterns and load different patterns.
Oh, cool.
Very, very cool. I've showed it on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm struggling to remember where the link is, but it's out there on GitHub. You search for it. All right, moving on.
My coffee.
I had to give that one attention because I really like that project. Next up, we got swords. So check out the swords. Actually, I think I already have them loaded. Here, so here is the Halo Energy Sword from the video game series Halo. This was posted up by Man Chicken. They posted up their make. They said they skipped electronics and just printed the bottle. So awesome.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great even
Wow.
without electronics. So you just have a solid
Yeah, that
blades.
color is perfect.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Huh.
So yeah, very cool prop designed by Pedro a while back.
I think that was the first sculpting I did in Fusion.
Yeah, look at all these fantastic light painting photos we did. Those were having fun. All right, next up we have another sword. This is the Guardian sword from Zelda Breath of the Wild.
When is part 2 coming out?
Next year. Marsurino posted this up. And there's no comments, but just a fantastic photo of it on a deck of some sort.
That looks really
The
good.
colors look very
I
vivid.
like that teal.
Yeah, it looks really good, the color. Yeah. All right, and then we have another Zelda sword.
Oh, wow.
Same exact sword. This was posted by Reiko. Printed on my JG Aurora A5X in red line PLA neon transparent. So here's 2 photos from them. One of it finished lit up on a custom holder.
Where's that holder
Next
at?
to their whole gaming collection of sorts. Maybe it's a DVD collection. And then here is the parts printed bear.
Nice.
Good. Very sweet. And what a coinky dink that they swords were both posted this week. And then kind of a blast. Remember the fidget spinner craze of the 2017 or whatever it was?
I'm going to laugh when it comes back.
All right. So Wiseman posted up their make of the Adafruit fidget spinner. Works. They say it works great, and it's an awesome way to flex to my fellow makers.
Any tips on beating the first boss in Breath of the Wild?
I don't remember who the first boss is.
The first big boss fight.
Oh, is it
Was it that
one of the
the
Ganons?
horse?
Oh, the Lionels?
Is it?
Could be. Yeah, Lionels are really hard. I always struggle with those. And I have the conversation completely diverged from an Agent Fruit fidget spinner to how do I beat Phoenix.
I don't know. I see
And
you
the
guys
Lionel.
playing that, and it's like he hits you with his pinky, and you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah, there's lots of great things about it. Yep. Your swords are always breaking.
Yeah. What is that funny YouTube video that Gavin watches over and over with
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild? It's like all the funny cliches that happen in the video game,
Yeah.
taken to
I'm
an
running.
extreme.
I'm taking a break. I'm not running. I'm taking a break.
I am now tired.
Yeah.
You found new sword. You've broken it.
Yeah. You find it, you break it right away. All right, that's this week's Community Makes. Shout out to everybody for posting up their makes. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves. And now we have this GIF of
I know, I keep seeing
flying
those.
ball, that like a yo-yo.
Right.
That's cool. That's
All
great.
right.
That's a great GIF. I just watched that.
The string of shows continues
Fidget drum.
in tonight.
Oh, sorry. It was
With-
the fidget show.
Starting
All
off
right.
with Show and Tell.
Show and Tell tonight. We invite you to come on, hosted by Liz Clark.
Oh, I thought it was us.
No, we're just going to be on and hanging out. So shout out to Liz for hosting. I think we'll
Yay.
host next week, or maybe Melissa will. We have
Okay.
a sheet,
One of them,
so we'll
yeah.
look, yeah. And then John Park is tonight, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So tune in to John Park. He's got some new products to release or chat about.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of segments. And
TV
more.
Be Gone, yes.
Yeah, Project Build as well.
Super cool.
Cool. And then on Friday, we have a deep dive with Tim, Foamy Guy. On Mondays, we have the CircuitPython Weekly. You can tune in live or catch the archives every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Product Pick of the Week on Tuesday with JP every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I forgot what it was, like a TCP, I2C.
Oh my god, I was listening to
Yeah, it was an
I forgot.
I2C expander.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's the
hub.
multiplexer. Yeah,
it's
the
a really
multiplexer.
nice hub. He had a
Mhm.
great demo too, and Liz used it in her laser harp.
Oh yes, yes. I want to use it for having multiple nodes, the stemma soil sensors going into
would be
one.
great. Yeah, that'll be a next year
Yeah.
project for sure.
Coming up.
Managing multiple planters.
Got a bunch of plants coming in today, so I'm going to need it.
The arrow pointing at me. I'm wearing red today.
Oh yeah, and the emoji is in shock because everything is half off. So
That's
definitely
right.
tune in
It's the main part of the
live.
show.
Yeah, it's like holy crap! It's
Yeah,
only $2,
it was a $2
$3.
sensor.
Yeah.
5, please. Cool. That's it for the show. We've
That's
been
it.
running through it. Normally it takes an hour to do the show, but I guess because the builds are a lot easier and
It's the end of the
It's
year.
the end
We're
of the
just
year, man.
talking like I think the iBook one is the last project for this
Think
year.
so,
We're
folks,
gonna
yeah.
combine the. What did we do this year?
we got this holiday tree, but it was designed particularly for the Scorpio board. We
right.
don't know if the Scorpio board's gonna be
Yeah.
released, and if it does get released, we're kind of out of time to start documenting it.
And then the
This countdown clock
Countdown
is a
clock.
collab project with Liz and Kathy. I got her
We'll
the
make it.
parts, but we're stretched on time, so
Yeah, super cool. I guess it could be a Valentine's countdown.
it could be a countdown for anything.
Yeah.
Countdown for your birthday, countdown
you go.
for your big move, countdown for whatever.
The tree. I don't
Yeah,
know
the
what.
tree. It'll be a volcano.
Respin the. Oh,
That's
a good
right. Don't
idea.
say it's a no. Don't say it's a
Yeah,
volcano.
yeah.
It's bad.
Oh yeah.
Don't say that.
Ugh. All right. We'll have to figure out how to retheme these projects.
It's not a tree. It's a something else. It's a traffic cone.
Multiplex.
Multiplex.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
just
Well, thanks
bantering here.
everybody. Yeah.
Just meandering.
We're just banshee.
All right. With all that said.
Yeah.
make
Remember
hay-
to make a great day, folks. We'll see you tonight on Show and Tell. Bye, everybody.
Bye.